about now?
Yes, we're there.
Okay. So can you see the project as well that I've got open?
Yes.
Yes, IT implementation.
All right, then. Thank you then. Okay, so I just want to quickly start over. So if you look on your left-hand side of Palladium, you will have it's like our menu where you get audio menu objects. Then under business, we've got processing, which will be your cash book and your bank manager processing. Then under maintenance, we've got projects and we've got bank configuration. So today we'll be looking at the projects and costing. So as I said, I already have a sample project that I've created, which is IT implementation. So we've got our project number or name. We've got our project description there, also name. Then we've got under project links, we can link a project to our customer, or we can link a project to customers as well as cost centers if you've got different cost centers. Then you can also link you can also link projects to a salesperson. For this exercise, I'm not going to do that. So basically, this is what we have under project information. You've got you can put in different details there, depending on how your projects are set up. We've got different stages of a project. You can add it by percent, or you can put your different stages there on a project. We also have budgets where you can actually budget for your project. So if we say I want to budget for my project, then you've got different stages that you can put in there. We also have a payment schedule, so you can actually schedule your payments. So basically, this is how you'll manage your payment as well as your project. I would say your project progress, how far you've come, how much has been paid so far. You can also have contacts. You can have unlimited number of contacts. Basically, people that you are in contact with on a particular project. We also have a project program log where you put in all the problems they come across, what was reported, who reported it, was it resolved. This is how the problem would look like. You can put your problem, who reported it, when was it reported, was it ever resolved, the description of the project, and of the programs reported, as well as the resolution of that problem. We also have a project log. So basically, this will be like different entries or different stages of the project. What has been done so far? When was it entered? Who entered it? What was the description? Or what was the details of that of the log? Okay, then there's also files. So you can actually attach your different files onto your project. So you can attach your invoices, you can attach your timesheets, you can attach basically a whole lot of different documents that you'd like to attach on this, on the project that you'll be working on. Sorry about that. And we also have different optional fields. So you can say that you want to have optional fields that will either be printed, maybe on your project reporting, then you can have all those fields there. You can add notes. We've got resources. So basically, you can add your different assets on that, on your project. We've got finances. You can see that you've got your different, you can add your insurance value, your policy numbers, description, expiry dates, and so forth. And also a checklist. You can set up your checklist there, you can set up your questionnaire. So this is what you can put on your projects, but not all of this is required. It's really up to how a particular company works on regarding their projects. So the project has been created. So to create a new project, you will, like I said, you'll come to business, maintenance, double click on this project and costing, then select new. This is where you'll put in all those information or that you just went through, all the details that you just went through now. Okay. I'm not going to create a new project. We'll work on this one that I have already. Are there any questions so far on the creation of a project and the information that's required on it?
Hello.
Yes.
I just want to ask, I'm sure maybe you answer this question as we are going. So I just wanted to ask in advance.
Okay.
So my company, what we do is we are in the retail industry. So we make our own stores. So what I would want to find out, because right now as it is, we just make payments from AP. But what I would want, if it's possible, whereby when we're making payments, maybe under projects, all those payments are being allocated to that project, so that when we are done, before we open the store, all the payments are sitting under, say, the WIP of that department or that store as WIP. All those assets should sit as WIP. So I wanted to find out, is it possible to do that through projects, whereby as we are making payments, or they are being charged to the same store?
When you say sitting as WIP, you mean like sitting as work in progress?
Yes, because the way we do our depreciation, we only start depreciating the asset after it is full when we open the store. So as we are creating a store, we can't, the assets will sit under WIP, work in progress, fixed assets.
Okay, just to confirm, are you currently using the manufacturing module, or what? How are you processing those assets?
Right now, we're just making payments. So let's say when we're paying for buying equipment, we just use the AP module,
Okay, so you're just using the AP module.
Yes.
So when you come to your, for example, under purchase order, you can link your purchase orders to a particular project. Yes. So you can allocate it to a particular project.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Because that's what maybe you're looking for.
Yeah, that's what we want. So we want all the payments for a specific project to be allocated to that project, all the assets, so that when we are done, they are sitting in a certain department or store.
Okay, no, I understand that. Yeah. So you can do that using the purchase order. And once your order has been placed or completed, you can come and link it to your project there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's actually the next step of our training.
Thanks.
Okay, pleasure. Do we have any other questions on the project setup? Or can we move on to assigning costs to your project? Okay, let's see. We don't have any people waiting. Okay, I think the question has been answered, but now what we look at how to link a project to a cost or to a purchase order. So now the project has been set up. We are now, for example, buying items that will be used on that particular project. So that means that we need to link our cost to that particular project. So we'll come to purchase order. Then we can create a purchase order, a new purchase order there. Or what we can also do is, if we already have a sales order from our customer, we can come and select our sales order or create our sales order. Sorry about that. I'm going to use Mr. Brown. So this is basically our sales order. Our customer is looking for 5 Dell laptops. Our laptops will be 11,500 each. So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna record this purchase, the sales order. So once my order has been saved, I can come to this order and link it to a project. So I can link it to my IT implementation project. The project has been linked to our customer, which is Mr. Jeremy Brown. And once I've done that, I will record this. So the project has been linked. If you go back to project, it will show that it has been linked. As you can see, that has been linked to our IT project. Now, ladies and remember, we've not done any invoicing. So the reason we don't have any financial attachment or financial commitments as yet on the sales order or on the project. So now we'll need to buy stock that will be used on that project. So I'm going to place a purchase order with my supplier. I can either do a new purchase order or I can come and copy a sales order. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy my sales order, the one that I've just created now. As you can see, it will give me the customer, the reference I've put on my sales order, the item that I've ordered. If there is a description, if there is a project linked to it, to give me what project that is. So I've got my project there, the quantity that we need, as well as the pricing. So once I've done that, it pulls through my sales order details onto a purchase order. I can put in the reference there and record it. So I need to put my cost. So my cost will be 7,500 per item. Okay, so now I have created my purchase order. Come to project. I will just from here, I'm going to relink my project on this purchase order. So this is basically assigning a cost to my project. If you come in view project, will show you the allocated project there. Save, then I can close this. Remember, we have not bought as yet. We have not bought or sold anything attached to this project. What we can do now, we can come and view our reporting. So we can come and see what allocations we've made for that particular project. We'll select all projects. As you can see now, this will show us the documents that have been allocated to that project. I've got my sales order. I've got my purchase order. This one was done earlier. Don't pay any attention to it. So this will show us basically details on our sales and purchase order. Are there any questions on processing those orders and linking them to a purchase, to a project? If we don't have any questions, what I'll do now is that I will proceed to create a purchase invoice. Then from a purchase invoice, we'll see what has been affected, what transactions or what GL accounts have been affected by our transaction, okay? Okay, so once our purchase order has been completed, now we'll need to convert it into an invoice, meaning that we are now assigning cost and bringing in stock to our system. Go to purchase orders. We've got an option to convert purchase order. So the one that I'm converting will be this one. I've got my document number, I've got my reference, I've got my amount. It's a quantity of 5, the item that I'm buying, the price I'm buying it at. Then I'm gonna, sorry about it, I need to put in the invoice number. Okay, so my invoice has been processed now. It means that I have now 5 on hand of my items. Come to the project, I will check which project has been allocated. It will show me that for my Dell laptop, I've got 5 quantity allocated to this project. Let's look at our general ledger account. So basically, this is our general entry to give us a list of accounts which have been affected. So I've got my assets, I've got my accounts receivables, which is my control accounts, and I've got the tax, which is the VAT account. If we go back now to business, then reporting, let's look at our budget cost. So now this is what has been linked to our, this is the cost that has been linked onto our project. So it will show us the cost, it will show us the invoiced amount as well, or the invoice cost. Remember, I already have one, I had one order, that's why I showed the quantity of 6, but with my invoice, I only invoiced a quantity of 5. So basically that is how we assign a cost onto a project. Are there any questions so far relating to what we've covered on the projects, which is creating a project, linking it to a sales invoice or a sales order or a purchase order, and also linking it to a cost or assigning a cost to it?
Where did you go to check the accounts affected? Did you go on the
Okay.
On
With the accounts affected, if you go onto your purchase invoices, I'm going to open my document, which is this one. You see at the top right corner there, you've got different options. You can say bring the home front or home screen to front. You can view who entered the description, or who captured the transaction. If you come to it, you'll say view journal entry. You can click on this little green book there. Then this will show us our journal entry, our journal transaction.
I see.
Okay,
Thanks.
Pleasure. Okay, so are there any other questions so far relating to the reporting or how to?
Yeah, you went straight from placing a purchase order to a processing an invoice. Would you be able to handle a goods receiving step in between there? Is that set up somewhere else, or how would that work? So place purchase order, GRV, and then process an invoice against the GRV.
Most definitely. Before we continue, let me just quickly show you the setup. If you go to the control panel, then you've got company setup, you've got linked accounts. Okay, let's close all the windows. Under receivables. So basically we need to make sure that everything here has been linked. So all our general ledger accounts have been linked. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to create a new order, then I'm going to convert that order into a GRV or goods received voucher, then we'll convert that into an invoice, okay?
Cool.
So again, we'll come to accounts receivables. So I'm going to copy again the same. So I'm going to copy again the same order. Okay, I'll use the same supplier. So it's basically the same steps that we took earlier, okay? I'm going to assign this again to the same project. What you can do, you can assign this or to your project, or you can allocate by line. You can say for this, if you have different projects, you can have like you can assign different projects on different line items. So I'll just use the one that we had earlier. So now this has been recorded. If we go, that will show us now all the 5 units have been allocated to each project. Now, if you can have a look on our screen there, we've got a receiving or GRV icon. Then before we go to our purchase invoice, we'll come to GRV. On our GRV, we will load our open purchase orders. As you can see, it says purchase order on open purchase orders only. We'll select the one that we want to GRV. If there is a number from our supplier, we can put that in there. Then we'll record this. The same details on our project. We can come and view the journal entries as well.
Okay, good.
Okay, so once this is done, maybe at a later stage or so, you can come and convert it into an invoice. If you come to our invoice screen, you see you've got convert and for this little track here. If you hover over it, you'll tell you convert GRV. So the convert will work if you're converting a purchase order into an invoice. The convert GRV is converting a GRV into an invoice. We select our GRV. So it basically gives us the same details that we had on our order. Then our invoice number from the supplier. Then we can record this. Once it has been recorded, did you update the same details as our invoice that we did earlier?
And at this point, you could potentially change the price if the invoice price was slightly different from your order price. Eh?
Yes, you can. So I'm going to adjust this. Then you can say, okay, I got this for 7,000. Then you'll change your price. You'll record this. So it allows you to change your price. Because sometimes, yes, you can maybe get an order for at a particular price to you, then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, the invoice comes at a different price, depending on the agreement between you and the supplier.
And then if we go to the transactions, yeah.
So the amendments has taken place. So this will be the general ledger accounts which will get affected. We can view your projects again. Remember, nothing has changed on the project. We still assigned our projects to, or our item to this project. We can go and view the reporting again, our costing on the project. So basically, this is all the reports that we have on projects. Cost matrix as of this date. So now it will show us, remember earlier we had 5 because we only brought in 5, but now because we did a new invoice, our quantity invoice has gone to 10. Are there any other questions? Or can we move over to the sales side of this? Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, I will now move over to the selling side or the sales side of this. Remember earlier we created a sales order. So in essence, it is the same principle that we are using on the purchasing side. Okay. So this is the order that we did earlier. Remember our project. There is a discount linked to this customer, but it's fine. We don't have to worry about that for now. So with the customer side as well, there is an option where you can or like I was saying, there is an option also to allow for delivery notes before processing an invoice. So meaning that you'll have your sales order, a delivery note, as well as an invoice afterwards. Or you can do a sales order, then convert it to an invoice. For the setup, again, is control panel, options. Under receivables and workshop. Okay, that is settings 2. You can say you want to create a delivery advice from sales order. You will need to put in our accruals account there. Okay, I'll just use this one for now for testing. Now, if you remember earlier, we didn't have this icon here for delivery advice or delivery note. We only had the sales order and the invoice. So now that we've done our invoice, what we'll do now is we can convert it into we can convert our sales order into a delivery note. So we'll come here and we'll load sales order. Like I said, it is the same principle that we did earlier on the purchase side. So there's our sales order. We are now delivering this to our customer. You can change the quantity. You can say, no. Let's see. Okay, when dimensions must reference item, I'll double check that. But yes, now you can record this. Once it has been recorded, you can come and view our project allocations. We can also view the journal entries. Remember, we linked this as our delivery advice control account. Now, if we go to the project report, then we see our project matrix on the sales side. What it shows us is what still needs to be invoiced. It hasn't been invoiced as yet. What's to be claimed. So this is how our sales report will look like, or the project sales matrix report will look like. After we've done our delivery note or delivery advice, we can convert that into an invoice. Same principle as the purchase side. You've got convert delivery advice. You've got convert, which will convert directly from a sales order. But because we already have a delivery advice, we'll convert from a delivery advice. Again, here you can also change the price. You should be able to change the quantity. I just need to check why does this give me the profile dimension. But yes, so this is how it is done. Record. We can view our project allocations. It will show us what has been allocated. We can come and view our journal entries. Again, we can go back and view our project reports. Now it shows us what has been invoiced now, what has been claimed. Are there any other questions, or are there any questions so far on the sales side? So basically, there's not really too much to go into on the project side. You just have to go through the reports. You just have to go through the different reports and the different setup. Let's see what you've got there. So basically, these are the reports that we have that you can have a look at, that you can go through. If there are no questions on this, I would like us to maybe move over to the fixed assets. Or do you maybe want to recap on anything regarding the projects?
I think where you're going, so that's really where my concern is. So how we do our business is when we're paying for the stores, as I was saying. So like you've showed me, we'll be creating a project. After we create a project, then we allocate all the purchase invoices to that project. And then eventually, when the project is done, we convert all the finished, when the project is now done, we now convert that into fixed assets. So I think that's where you're going. So I'd want an explanation on how we can be linking the two. After we are done with creating a store, we are paying for it as under projects, and now how to convert that into fixed assets.
Okay, so basically you want to convert your finished item or your finished good into a fixed asset. For example, if you were building, let's say you were building a table, right? Or you bought in a table. Now you want to convert that table into a fixed asset.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, may I ask, up to so far, how have you guys been processing those transactions?
So what I've noticed, we've just been making payments, and then when we make payments, and then you'd pass I'd find they would pass a journal to capitalize all the payments. The payments made for creation of a store, for instance. So all the payments will now, at the end, in a GL, we've got, I'm not in my Palladium. All the payments will be in a certain GL code, which we call WIP. And then after the end of the project, we pass a journal to capitalize all those costs as an asset.
Okay, let's see if there is a way we can do that, because that's something I haven't checked, I haven't tested. But then we'll go through the setup now and see what we can do, or how it will work for you.
Mhm.
Okay, so again on Palladium, if you look on your left-hand side, like I said, we've got our menu options there, or our menu items.
Mhm.
We've got an item for fixed asset, which is highlighted in blue. You click on it, it will give you these two options there. You've got processing, then you've got maintenance. So basically under maintenance, this is where we'll do all our asset maintenance. Our maintenance will be done from right to left. So if, for example, you've got your locations, you can come and create a location where your assets are sitting. In your case, said that you've got stores, maybe let's say you say it's store 1, which floor and which room. Okay. Then location is not really that important. Then we also have disposal reasons. Disposal reasons, you can say you've got scrapped, you've got sold. Scrapped, it means that your item maybe has been, I think it's self-defined. It says it has been scrapped, so meaning that it has been written off completely, or it has been sold. You sold it to another company, then you're just writing it off from your books. So this is how it looks like. It's just you just put in your code and your description. Then we've got expense types. So expense type basically is relating to how you will record your cost against an asset. You can have different type of expense types. You can say, okay, so basically I'm going to write off, for example, maybe you're writing off a golf cart, if I can put that way, then you just want to write off you just want to write it against fuel cost because you're transferring it from somewhere from one place to another, or maybe there's a service fee linked to writing off your assets. So you can put your expense tab there. These are not linked to any general ledger account. It's just for reporting purposes. Then we've got depreciation methods. So we've got about 6 depreciation methods on Palladium. Close this. So this is our depreciation methods that we've got. We've got straight line, which is I think it is the most commonly used depreciation, or the depreciation method. So when you're creating a new depreciation method, you will put your code, you've got your description there, then you've got a calculation method. You've got straight line where it will ask you to a number of years, what is your initial percentage? So if it's a new asset, you'll always be 100%. Number of years can be, I'm not sure how long it takes, but I've used 5 years as an example. Then the system will calculate or will divide the percentage by the number of years to give you your yearly percentage or your yearly depreciation percentage, which would be 20% per year for 5 years. Then you've got equal allowance. You can say number of years as well, the initial percentage, the calculation per year, what will be how your item will be depreciating. You've got reducing balance. So basically this, you can just go through them. You can just go through all of the setups and then see how it is. So basically more or less the same setup, just need to make sure that you've got the correct calculation method and the correct value details there. After doing the setup for depreciation methods and everything, we have asset types. So on our asset types, we use the one that I've got. Asset type, you can basically say that if you wanna, for example, if you've got furniture that you wanna write off, you can put there as furniture, or you can put computer hardware, or you can put vehicle, depending on what will be the asset that you are depreciating. Then you've got the general ledger accounts. This For those who are using the Palladium standard setup, those accounts are already in the system. You just go through those accounts and you'll see which ones you can use for which method. You also have the other general ledger accounts for asset costing, your purchasing, your repair and maintenance, your profit and loss on sale. Then depreciation methods, you can come and select your different methods there. As you can see, we've got all these methods that you can use. So you can say, you know, for example, if I'm depreciating using method 3, this will update my general ledger. So this will dictate when your general ledger accounts are getting affected or are getting updated. So that is how we set up our asset types. Then now we've got our assets now. So this is where we are actually saying we are linking our asset to asset types. So if I say 002, then description, I will say software. Then I can either, remember I only had one asset type, which was computer hardware, but I can come here and create a new asset type. So I'm just going to quickly create a new one, then we link it to our asset, which is software. So now we've got our computer software asset type. You can come and link it there. I can also link it to a project if I want. The quantity. Then if I've got a serial number, put my serial number, put all my details there, the location. Then the purchase information. On the purchase information, this will select my vendor details. Which vendor did I buy it from? If there is an invoice number attached to that, the purchase date, if there's insurance, salvage, and you just need to make sure that you've got all that information, and what was my purchase amount for that one item. I can add a sub asset or sub assets. So basically, for example, I'm saying that I'm writing off computer hardware or a laptop, I can also include a mouse, a charger, a mouse and a charger, maybe like or a laptop bag as well. Depreciation history, we don't have anything. We can add our repairs and maintenance, what was repaired, when was it maintained, stuff like that. So this will also factor into our general ledger. We've got location, optional fields. We can add our files, their pictures and everything, as well as the notes. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Okay, Mias, do we have any questions up to so far with the asset creation and maintenance?
Yeah, just one question from my side. This is obviously an accounting fixed asset register. Do you have a tax fixed asset register that could be linked to the same assets? Because generally or often your tax wear and tear allowance is different from your depreciation.
No, to be honest, I'm not quite sure. That's something I'll have to find out for you.
Okay, no problem.
So I need to find out what I can do. I can maybe ask you to send me an email with your question or the question that you've not answered so far.
Okay, yeah, lekker. We'll do.
Okay, no problem. I'll just give you my email address after this. Okay, so this is basically our maintenance of the fixed assets. We have reporting there. We've got our item summary or asset summary. This is what we have. This just gives us a list of the assets we have. So we don't have anything that we've done so far. Close. Then remember, based on our asset creation, we'll get this information that we've purchased. We'll say when was the purchase date, the purchase amount. If we do have a vendor, it will give us the vendor there and the serial number. Asset register. So this gives us our asset details or our asset register. Let's see what we've got. We don't have anything under depreciation. So that was just an overlook of the reporting that we've got. Then under processing, we've got asset disposal. You can dispose of an asset there. As you can see, we don't have anything, only dispose of this. Then we also have depreciation run. So basically, this is where we are.
See, there's tax value there.
Okay, so what we can do, let's run the depreciation and see if it updates our tax value, okay? So now we're gonna run depreciation. As of which date? If I say depreciate. So now I've got my different types of assets there. Depreciation method for 3, 4, and 5, okay. So now I'm just going through making sure that all the correct accounts are being affected. Then when I record this, then yes, I'm gonna post a journal now. So now it's also posting a journal. Remember, I'm running depreciation, so I need to update my general ledger details. So I'm gonna verify all. Let's continue. Okay, so there was nothing updated on the text invoice. Let's see if we can preview. We'll come to our report and see what we have. So what type of depreciation has been so far. Just waiting for this to update the report. Okay, so now this is our report of the depreciation that we've done. nothing has been updated on the text. I need to double check this. If there's maybe there's a setting that we missed. I just need to double check this, okay? Then we also have asset disposal. So basically asset disposal, if we come to say, let's select an item, we can dispose of that item. So the reason why we are disposing of it, we are saying that it's been scrapped, we are no longer using it. Okay, let's do this as the 1st of April. So we can come and view our report again. So this is the asset that we've disposed of that has been scrapped. So basically that is how our fixed assets and projects look like and how they work. Do we have any questions?
I think for me, I would appreciate if you share your email so that I think it's the same question where I'd want to know how we can convert projects that we're creating, assets that we're creating via the projects tab or menu into assets after we are done.
Okay, yes, that I will need to double check. I need to test it for you, make sure that it can be done.
Okay, so you can share your email?
Yes, I'll share my email. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the support email address as well as my email address, okay?
Yes.
So whenever you're sending an email through to me, make sure that you CC support on that email.
I
Because
will.
sometimes we are struggling to get external emails on our personal email addresses.
All right.
Okay. And then is there any other questions? So far what I've got is that linking your assets to linking your items to an asset, as well as the tax value relating to depreciation. Those are the two questions that I need to follow up on and get feedback to you guys.
Yes, please.
Okay then. And in regards to the setting up and running the depreciation, do you have any questions or do you have any comments? Or can someone maybe shed a light on how they do it differently on their side or from their organization?
Yeah, I think, there's a couple of things in fixed assets. So the one thing you look at every year is if there's an impairment criteria. And if so, you might have a big kick of depreciation or impairment in a year, which then you potentially write back in future years. So that's quite a complex item. And then I see you can account for a leftover value in your assets when you're coming to, if you instead of put 100%, you could put like 90% when you're setting up your depreciation. So that will leave a residual value for your asset, which is also something that's required in accounting.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so those are just some of the common issues that happen in practice.
Yeah, because another thing is, for example, you know how different people have different experiences and different knowledge. So some of the functionality in the system would really appreciate if maybe you gave us feedback or what to update on the system. You know, because that would be helpful to or beneficial to everyone using the system and using the depreciation side of the system.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. And one needs to just sort of have a look and see what functionality is the system and how you would cater for it, you know. So there's several ways to skin a cat.
Yeah,
You just
true.
got to find out where it is in the system to be able to use it.
Yeah, it most definitely is. Like I said, I'm going to give you my email address. Then for any suggestions or comments or questions, you can just drop me an email. Then if I'm unable to give you feedback at that point in time, I'll escalate through to my manager or to some of the senior guys, then try and get those information or those details for you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. It's yeah, very good of you.
Okay, thank you. So let me do this quickly. So my email address is then you can also send to support or CC support. It's Tebogo.
Oh, it's disappeared now, eh?
Has it disappeared?
I support that item. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna send mine again.
Jeez.
So mine is tebogo.mashamaite@palladium.co.za. But even if you just send an email through to support@palladium.co.za and then say attention Tebogo, then I will attend to it.
Okay. That's the easier way.
Yeah, that will be the easier way, I think.
But just one other little comment to the other gentleman is looking to have his to move his work in progress to fixed assets. There's actually also in Palladium there's a use of a department, which is a department is like a cost center within an account, but it doesn't post to your general ledger. So it's sort of a cost center that you don't see in your general ledger. So it doesn't overfill your general ledger with many lines every time you have a different project.
Yes.
But it does accumulate the numbers under your work in progress account. So it's another area that possibly could look at. I'm not sure how a department would potentially link into a project. Or like this question is, how do you clear a project? So that you just don't have the amounts floating around at the end of the day. But there's another area there potentially to look at.
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
Actually, our stores are set as departments. So when you go under Palladium and you run, say, the balance sheet as where you run it as per department, so that's how our stores come. So each store will show an amount. Say if you click under the GL code for that store, it will show you all the assets and everything under that code. So now what we want, what I would appreciate if you're able to do that, where let's say we are creating a store at a mall. So once we are done with that store, we now convert that store into an asset under a department so that it will now allocate all that computers, computer equipment, shop fitting, plant and equipment, instead of having to capture it again or just passing a line.
And you would capture those as a number of assets, or would you capture it as a single asset?
So right now we just capture them as under just purchase, just as payments.
So those are not captured as assets, they just captured as your normal stock item.
Yes, as we are paying for suppliers.
Okay, I think what you can do.
I'll send the email.
Yeah, send an email. Maybe I can also, let's say tomorrow around maybe 10 or 11, I can log in, or I can connect with you. Then you can just show me the process that you guys are going through. Then maybe we'll be able to get more clarity on that. Will that be okay with you?
What time tomorrow are you going to advise once you receive the email?
Yeah, hence I'm saying maybe anytime between 10 and 11 in the morning.
10 and 11, that's fine.
That's if you're available, yes.
I'm available.
Okay, yes, let's set the time for tomorrow between 10 and 11.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, then thank you. Please don't forget to send me that email so I can please have your details as well.
Okay, all right.
Okay, then. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.